All right, it looks like we have a good number of people on, and we do have quite a bit to get through, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Just a few housekeeping things before we get started. We'd like to let all of you know that this is being recorded and informational materials will be available afterwards. Tomorrow, around 24 hours after we wrap up, we send out a follow-up email, which includes links to our YouTube channel where we post all of the recordings. There will also be some additional information in there, recapping what we discussed today and some tips to help you get started with your Savi account. If you have any questions, please feel free to put those in the Q&A. I'll do my best to answer as many as I can, and we'll have a few breaks to answer those questions out loud as we move through the presentation. And finally, if you need to use some closed captions, I'm sending a link in the chat right now that has some instructions on how you can turn those on. So thanks again for being here today. My name is Jobe, and I'm the Senior Associate of External Affairs here at Savi. I work very closely with borrowers on workshops like these, helping you understand the basics of student loans, give you updates on what's going on in the student loan world. And it's really great because I can hear firsthand from all of you to see what experiences borrowers are having, and then go back to Savi to figure out how we can better to support all of you. For those of you that are new to Savi, here's a little bit about us. We are a public benefit corporation, which means it exists in our mission and our charter statement that we're here to serve the public. Here at Savi, our number one priority is you, the borrower. We are always trying to find ways to save you money on your student loans, make sure that these are not a burden to you, and making them as easy as possible to manage so that you can eventually get to that forgiveness down the line. We're run by experts and advocates that have over 2 decades of experience, and many of us also have student loans of our own, myself included. I also am a student loan borrower, so we have that firsthand knowledge that helps us to better serve you. And finally, we're focused on savings. It really is our goal to help you find as many savings as possible, especially through programs like income-driven repayment plans and public service loan forgiveness. So Savi is available to you through the My Way to Repay campaign. The My Way to Repay campaign, which is brought to you by Savi and Ascendium, is here to help you all with managing your student loans and ensuring that you can find the best outcome for it. Last little bit about us. As I said, it's our goal that it is as easy as possible to manage your student loans. Within our website, you can see what you qualify for and apply, so you can do any necessary steps right through your Savi account. With us, many users reduce their student loan payment by about $150 per month. And on average, our users receive $20,500 in loan forgiveness. So these are some pretty great savings. And best of all, we just have one application for you to complete. By doing so, you'll see personalized options that are customized just for you, showing you your eligibility for all of the programs that we will discuss. So by the end of this session, it's our goal that you will leave knowing what issues are currently impacting student loan borrowers, what policy changes are on the horizon for 2024, and how Savi can support you with managing your student loans. So starting off, let's spend some time talking about issues that borrowers have been facing recently. Almost immediately when payments resumed last fall, we began seeing issues with borrowers. Borrowers started reporting issues that their servicers were not managing their loans correctly, application delays, a wide variety of things. So we immediately jumped into action to start tracking these issues, raising the alarm to the Department of Education, and ensuring that we are fighting for you and helping you to resolve these issues. So let's start off with highlighting some of the most common issues that borrowers have been experiencing. In October, when first payments were due, many borrowers received an incorrect bill amount. So according to the Department of Education, nearly 78,000 borrowers had their payment wrongly calculated when enrolling into a new repayment plan. An additional 21,000 were billed for the wrong amount. So what happened was that servicers based your payment using the wrong family size or income, which resulted in an incorrect payment amount. In many cases, this payment was much higher than it should have been for borrowers. I personally remember talking to a borrower who should have had a payment of about $60 per month, and she received a bill for almost $400. So this was a very severe mistake. Borrowers were panicking, and this was one of the first issues that we saw. The good news, though, is that many of these incorrect bill amounts have already been corrected, and servicers are still working to correct them and ensure that future bills will be accurate. Another issue with bills were that many borrowers received a late billing statement or they did not receive one at all. The Department of Education reported that in October, 2.5 million borrowers received that billing statement late. Because of that, many borrowers missed their payment due date, so they received it with not enough notice to make preparations, or they received it after their due date. This caused some borrowers to become delinquent, where they had not made a payment, so they were reported as delinquent and inactive on their accounts. And all of this because servicers just didn't send it out on time. Again, servicers are already working to fix this. So most borrowers have been receiving their statements on time and are working to ensure that they are going to be sending them out for the right date and the right amount. Another common issue that is affecting almost every borrower has been processing delays. So right now, processing times are at a record high across all student loan servicers. Specifically, one of the applications that we submit most often here at Savi are for income-driven repayment plans and for public service loan forgiveness. Under normal circumstances, typical processing times for these should be about 4 to 6 weeks. But right now, income-driven plans are taking 6 to 8 weeks, and sometimes even longer than that. Those PSLF forms, even longer, nearly 12 to 16 weeks to receive the results of these forms. And this goes from the date that your form is submitted to the time that you receive those results in your inbox. So these are very, very high. Borrowers are left waiting in the dark, wondering what's going on with their student loans. The good news is that whenever you turn in this application, you should receive a confirmation of submission from your student loan servicer. They will send you a letter or notice saying, hey, we've got your application and we're working on it. As long as you receive that notice, results should come, even if it's been a while. As long as the servicer has confirmed the application was received, they'll be working on it, even if it takes a while. And another issue borrowers reported, which has led to a lot of borrower confusion, were administrative forbearances. I think this was one of the most common things that we received questions about here at Savi. Borrowers were reporting that they had been placed into an administrative forbearance without knowing what that was or why it happened. So first, let's start off with explaining what an administrative forbearance is. This is simply a period of time where your loan payments are paused. And this is because your servicer is taking some sort of action on your loan. So your loans can be put into an administrative forbearance for a few reasons, ranging from you have an application processing to there being an issue with your account to you're waiting on another step in the process. There are a lot of reasons why this administrative forbearance can be applied. But the number one reason that we have seen is because borrowers submitted an income-driven repayment application. So when you submit this application, you are requesting to have your monthly payment changed, typically to a more affordable amount. Servicers will put you into an administrative forbearance during this time period. That way, you're not required to make a payment under the old amount. Once your application is processed, you'll then be taken out of this forbearance and given a new payment amount and due date. The other common reason is because of all of these servicer issues that we're discussing. In some cases, if servicers need more time to correct these issues, they will put borrowers in an administrative forbearance. That way, you are not required to make a payment while the issues are corrected. This will prevent you from making maybe the wrong payment amount, making a payment if you weren't supposed to, whatever the case may be. It's there as a safety net to prevent you from making payments while issues are corrected. Once all of them are resolved, they'll be brought out of this forbearance and returned to repayment. So those are the most common issues we've seen. There are definitely more out there, and there are definitely edge cases. So In our question break, if you have experienced any specific issues, feel free to throw those in there and we're happy to discuss those. But in the meantime, let's talk about what action you can do if you've been impacted by any of these or other servicer issues. So the first thing to know is that the Department of Education is aware of these issues. They've even been taking steps to penalize servicers for making these issues. For example, they withheld nearly $1 million in funding from Mohila. They have been fining servicers tens of thousands of dollars for these mistakes. So the Department of Education is taking steps to correct them. Servicers are taking steps to correct them as well. And so, for example, if you received a late billing statement or if you're in an administrative forbearance, no action is needed from you because the issues will be resolved automatically by your loan servicer. In terms of application processing times, if it is taking longer than those normal processing windows and you have not heard anything back, or if you submitted an application and never received that confirmation, we encourage you to reach out to your servicer or to Savi for more help. In some cases, it can be useful to resubmit this application or talk to your servicer for a status update. Savi's support team can determine if it's necessary to do this and help you take any required steps. In regards to incorrect billing amounts, the first disclaimer we want to say is that although there were a large number of borrowers that received wrong billing amounts, the majority were still billed for the right amount. So 78,000 is a really high number, much higher than it should have been. But overall, that is only a small percentage of borrowers. So there's a good chance that your payment amount was correct. However, we're still encouraging everyone to confirm your payment amount to ensure that you're not affected by this. You can confirm what your payment should be by using Savi's personalized repayment estimator. So within our website, we have our general info application. After you've entered all of your information there, the results page shows you personalized options available to you. One of the things that will do is show you different repayment plans that are available. You can compare these results to what your servicer's payment amount is to make sure that they match up. If they don't match, it's possible that you could benefit from enrolling in an income-driven plan or that your servicer is calculating your payment wrong. We want to encourage you to ensure that you're entering your information accurately to ensure that we have accurate estimates. If any of your information is off when you enter it on the Savi website, that could throw off our estimates and cause those numbers not to match. After you've reviewed everything, though, if the numbers don't match and you think that you're being billed for the wrong amount, please do not hesitate to reach out to our support team. We are more than happy to get this corrected. We've had success so far with getting bill amounts corrected for borrowers. So if you have checked this, the amounts are different, and you think you're getting billed for the wrong amount, you can click Contact Support from your account, and we are happy to look into this for you. In some cases, it may be necessary to escalate your case further. Here at Savi, we have a wide variety of tools in our belt. In many cases, we can help address and fix most of these issues in-house. But in some cases, there are severe issues where there have been egregious servicer issues that require a little bit more support. So in these cases, we may recommend escalating your case to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or CFPB. This is a government organization that serves to monitor financial companies and ensure they are treating borrowers fairly. So they do have oversight over student loan servicers, and they can help correct issues that you're experiencing. You can submit a complaint online or over the phone and by mail. Once you submit this, the CFPB will be in contact with you and they'll open a case. They'll help reach out to your servicer and they'll work with you and your servicer to collect documentation, resolve the issue, and get it done. The CFPB that has said that most businesses will respond and you can see resolution times within under 2 weeks. So let's take a break to answer any questions that you may have. If any of you have questions about issues with servicers or any general questions with your student loans, Feel free to put those in the Q&A. I'm happy to answer those out loud before we discuss what's on the horizon in 2024. Again, feel free to ask any questions related to student loans you have, even if it's not related to servicer issues and it's about loans in general. I am more than happy to help with anything I can. Uh, I'll hang on just another moment to see if there are any questions. If not, we can keep chugging along and talk about those updates that are coming soon. Alrighty. Someone says, I've heard about going through a two-step consolidation for Parent Plus loans. If you do that, do you lose credits for PSLF? So this is a great question, and it is one that we do receive pretty frequently. So some borrowers have reported that there is a loophole that you can use to consolidate your Parent Plus loans a few times. For some more context, Parent Plus loans are treated differently than other student loans. They have to be consolidated before they are eligible for these programs, like income-driven repayment plans and public service loan forgiveness. But in addition, they can only be paid on one specific repayment plan called ICR. The ICR plan is based on 20% of your discretionary income, so it is at the higher end of the income-driven plans. This loophole that borrowers have discussed is that by consolidating your loan twice, you can make it eligible for all of the income-driven plans. We at Savi have not seen any borrowers be successful with this. We hear reports and we receive questions about it a lot, but we haven't seen, again, any evidence that borrowers have successfully been able to consolidate twice. So we encourage borrowers to follow the typical guidelines, which are to consolidate one time and enroll into the ICR plan. Switching gears a little bit and talking about how consolidation affects your PSLF credits. Normally, when you consolidate, your payments that you've already made reset to zero, and you have to make more payments to qualify for forgiveness. Right now, though, there is a temporary opportunity where you can consolidate and keep the credits that you've already earned. So by consolidating right now, your payments would not reset to zero, and any payments that you've already made will continue to count towards forgiveness. This is part of some upcoming account adjustments, which we actually have a slide on coming up very soon. So I'm going to provide more details about this adjustment soon, but just know that if you consolidate right now, your payments will not reset to zero. Alrighty, let's keep moving along. We'll talk about some policy updates. We'll have another break for questions coming up soon. So if you have any questions or you think of one, feel free to throw that in the Q&A. And when we get to the next break, I'm more than happy to answer it. So in our next section, we're going to talk about recent policy updates and some new things that are coming soon. We'll talk about payment resumption, some updates to the SAVE plan, and those account adjustments and consolidation deadline. So if you haven't heard, payments resumed last fall. Payments were paused for student loan borrowers for over 3 years, and they resumed starting in October. So every student loan borrower's interest resumed in September, and everyone's first payment was due in October. Each month, your student loan servicer will notify you of your payment amount and due date by sending you a billing statement. If you don't know who your loan servicer is, you can log in at studentaid.gov to confirm who your servicer is and make sure that your contact info is up to date with your most accurate information. The other thing to note about the payment pause is that this time will count towards forgiveness, providing all of you pursuing PSLF a huge opportunity. So the way this works is that going back to March of 2020, for every month that payments were paused, but you continued working in public service, you can count that month as if you made a payment to continue your progress towards forgiveness. Now that the payment pause is over, that is over 40 months that you could get credit for. All you need to do to receive credit for this time is submit an employment certification form for the employers you worked at during the payment pause. Mohila, who is the servicer that manages PSLF, will then go through and count up all the payments you made while working at that employer, and they will give you credit for the paused months. The one kind of catch or thing to note about this, though, is that you'll only be able to get credit for months where you would have otherwise made a payment. So if the payment pause had not happened and you were still making payments, those are the months you'll get credit for. This means that if your loans had not entered repayment yet, or maybe you had them paused because you were in school, those months won't count. It's only times where you would have otherwise been making payments. The good thing, though, is that when you turn in that employment certification form, Mohila will automatically check each month to see if you were going to make a payment then or not to give you credit for the appropriate amount. So last year, the Department of Education released a new income-driven repayment plan called the SAVE Plan. This was one of the most affordable repayment plans available for borrowers. If any of you are familiar with income-driven repayment plans, there was a previous plan offered called Repay. SAVE replaced the Repay plan, so any of you enrolled in Repay have been moved to SAVE and had your payment recalculated under the new rules. One of the biggest benefits of the SAVE plan is that any unpaid interest is covered by the Department of Education to prevent your loan balances from increasing. This does not change your interest rate, and interest is still accumulating. But if your payment does not cover all the interest that accrues in that month, the Department of Education covers the rest of it for you. In addition, the SAVE plan is changing how payments are calculated to help lower them for borrowers. So when you enroll into an income-driven plan, your payment is based on your income and your family size. It's not based on your total income, though, only a portion of it called discretionary income. Basically, what the Department of Education does is they set aside a portion of your income to cover the essential cost of living. The leftover amount is called discretionary income, and that is what your payment is based on. Under the SAVE plan, they are setting aside a higher percentage of income, which results in a lower discretionary income and a lower monthly payment. It can get kind of confusing to think about that way. So an easier way to think about it is that no borrower earning less than $15 an hour will have a monthly payment on the SAVE plan. If you are earning more than $15 an hour, you'll still see savings, since less of your income will count when calculating your payment. Starting very soon, the SAVE plan will also provide shortened timelines to forgiveness for borrowers with lower loan balances. Under old rules, you had to make payments for 20 to 25 years before you qualified for forgiveness under an income-driven plan. But the SAVE plan has a shorter timeline for borrowers with smaller balances. So if your original balance was $12,000 or less, you will be eligible for forgiveness after only 10 years of payments. So if you took out loans to go to school and the total amount you borrowed was under $12,000, after paying for only 10 years, you'll qualify for forgiveness on your loans if you're enrolled in the SAVE plan. This starts in February and is retroactive. So if any of you have already been making payments on your loans and you could qualify under this new rule, you can enroll in SAVE now and qualify for immediate forgiveness as soon as next month. Finally, later this year, even more benefits will be coming. Starting in July, borrowers with undergraduate loans will only pay 5% of their discretionary income, which is down from the current 10%. Borrowers with graduate loans will stay at 10%. And if you have a mix of grad and undergrad, you'll pay between 5 and 10% based on the breakdown of your loan types. The good news is that Savi supports enrollment in this plan right now, and you can enroll just by completing your main Savi application. We'll show you what your payment would be on the SAVE plan, what your timeline to forgiveness is, and how much forgiveness you can receive. Wrapping up our policy updates, let's spend some time talking about those account adjustments. I mentioned this during the Q&A, but this year, the Department of Education is focused on helping borrowers get credit for more payments. They'll be conducting a one-time account adjustment to correct some long-standing issues. Basically, there are a lot of programs available that all have very specific requirements. Historically, borrowers have struggled to meet all of those requirements and have their payments count towards forgiveness. So these account adjustments are serving as a course correction to give borrowers credit for more past payments and get them closer to forgiveness. The Department of Education is going to go through everyone's accounts and automatically will give you credit for specific periods of time that didn't previously count. Specifically, you'll get credit for any month where you were in repayment, even if that payment was partial, if it was late, if you had the wrong type of loans, or if you were on the wrong repayment plan. All of those will still be counted as if you met the normal requirements to count towards your total. You'll also get credit for extended periods of forbearance. So if you were in a forbearance for more than 12 months consecutive or more than 36 months cumulative, you will have those times adjusted and counted as if you were making payments, putting you closer to forgiveness. And finally, you'll also get credit for any month spent in deferment before 2013. The only exception to that being in-school deferments. Those will not count, but any other ones like cancer deferments, financial hardships, or military, all of those will now count. So for any of you who have been making past payments on your loans, these adjustments will be very beneficial to you because it will essentially count every single payment you've made towards forgiveness programs like income-driven forgiveness or public service loan forgiveness. The adjustments are expected to be completed by July of 2024. I mentioned that they will be automatic, and they will, but only if you have the right type of loans. You have to have loans that are direct or FFEL loans managed by the Department of Education to be included in these adjustments. If you have any loans not held by the Department of Education, you need to consolidate before the deadline to be included. So specifically, any borrower with FFEL loans or Parent Plus loans should consolidate their loans by April 30th. If you do not consolidate by April 30th, you will not be included in these adjustments. So for the question about Parent Plus loans and the payments resetting, if you consolidate that loan before April 30th, your payments will not reset, and you'll be able to count all the past payments you've made towards forgiveness. We'll be doing a lot of communications about this to help borrowers prepare for this deadline. So once you've added your loans to your Savi account, we'll check to see if you need to consolidate. If you do, we'll be sure to remind you and help you get those applications in before this deadline. Alrighty, time for another break. If you have any questions about anything we've discussed or any general loan questions, please feel free to put those in the Q&A, and I'm more than happy to answer them. I'll wait just another minute or two to see if anyone else has questions. If not, we can continue to talk about how Savi can help you understand all of this information I just dumped on you. So I'll give it just another moment. Alrighty. So we've discussed a lot, and as you've seen, there are a lot of beneficial programs, but there is also a lot of information that can be confusing for borrowers. Specifically for PSLF and IDR plans, these programs are bureaucratic and complex. There's also a lot of servicer issues going on that can be difficult to resolve and navigate on your own. How do you make sense of this? This is exactly why Savi is here, to help you break all of this down, understand your options, and ensure that you're getting the best outcome for your loans. With Savi, you can see personalized repayment and forgiveness options. So within your Savi account, we will show you what programs you qualify for, while helping you see what your monthly payment could be under different repayment plans, if there are any forgiveness programs you qualify for, and how much forgiveness you can receive. We also monitor for new programs and policy changes. So we like to think that we're at the forefront of everything student loans. Anytime there are updates or things going on, we are sure to keep track of it, update our materials, notify all of you, and ensure that you're kept in the loop about everything that's going on. We also help each year with the recertification of repayment and forgiveness plans. So when enrolled in an income-driven plan or pursuing PSLF, there's forms you have to submit each year to stay on track. Savi will remind you when it's time to submit those so that you don't miss any deadlines and you stay on track for forgiveness. These last two benefits, I think, are the most beneficial ones that we have. In your Savi account, you can sign and submit all necessary paperwork digitally. So no more printing out forms, faxing them to your servicer, or navigating that on your own. We will create any necessary applications and take care of submitting them for you to make that process as easy as possible. And best of all, you can receive personalized support from our student loan experts. Anytime you have questions about what you qualify for, how you want to discuss your options, or you need a little bit more help, you can receive one-on-one personalized help from our student loan experts anytime you need. So let's take a quick look at what our application and website looks like so that you know how to get started. This is the main Savi dashboard that shows you everything that you're working on with us. It'll give you an overview of your applications and provide you with any action steps that are needed from you. On your dashboard, you'll also be able to invite friends and family to use Savi. Unfortunately, student loan debt is common, and there are a lot of people out there that have it. We want to help as many people as we can, so we encourage you to invite others that you know with student debt so they can get assistance as well. You can invite friends, family, neighbors, colleagues, anyone you know with loans can be invited to sign up for Savi. Here at Savi, we also offer different membership levels. Our most popular plan is our Essential plan. Typically, this is a premium membership that is paid for by you, but thanks to the My Way to Repay campaign, they are covering the cost of Essential for all of you, which means you can enroll in this premium plan at no cost. The great benefit of enrolling in Essential is that it unlocks all Savi features, including letting us create your applications and digitally submit them for you. We'll also monitor your loans and applications moving forward to keep you on track for forgiveness. And as I mentioned, best of all, you can get access to that personalized support from our student loan experts. Especially right now with so much going on in the student loan world, the Essential membership is really beneficial because it gives you access to that support where you can talk one-on-one with our experts, discuss your situation, and ensure that you're taking any necessary steps to qualify for loan forgiveness. We really encourage all of you to enroll in this membership because it's absolutely free. We don't ask for a credit card. You won't be charged now or in the future. You simply just need to click select a plan from your Savi dashboard, and then you can enroll at no cost. In our actual application, we'll ask for all of the information that we need to show you what you qualify for. We'll start off with your family information. Then we'll get some income info from you so that we can calculate what your payment would be on an income-driven plan. After that, we'll get employment info so that we can see if you qualify for PSLF. We have a database that has over 1 million employers in it. And once you've added your employer to your account, we'll check to see if they meet the requirements for PSLF. If they do, we'll be able to help you submit the forms to certify it and get credit for that time. We encourage you to add all current and past employment. That way, we can see your entire situation and provide you with the most accurate estimate. Next up is the most important part of the Savvy application, which is adding your loans to your profile. The easiest way to do this is to sign in with the same username and password as your online servicer's account. When you do this, we will take a snapshot of your situation and pull over all of the necessary information. We can see things like your loan types, your balances, and your repayment history. This is crucial to receiving support from Savvy because once you've added your loans, we'll be able to identify if you need to consolidate. We'll be able to see your loan types to see, what steps are needed from you and provide you with more detailed communications on your next steps. So we really do encourage all of you to add your loans to your Savvy account so that we can take a look at your situation. Adding your loans here is also risk-free and no action is taken yet. All it does is let us see your situation to see what is available for you. After you've entered all your information, you can then see what you qualify for on the results page. We'll break it down for you to show you exactly what your payment would be on an income-driven plan, how far along you are towards forgiveness, and how much forgiveness you can receive. If you want to see everything that's available to you, that will be there for you to check out as well. But our website will recommend the plan that will save you the most and get you the most forgiveness. In many cases, that will be a bundling of options. So it may be enrolling in an income-driven plan and pursuing PSLF, or switching your repayment plan and pursuing teacher loan forgiveness. Our website will compare all the options and put together a specialized plan just for you to help you save the most and get the most forgiveness. Once you've found the plan that is the best for you and you're ready to enroll, you can click the Continue button to generate your applications. This is where that essential membership can really come in handy, because after you've enrolled, we will be able to create any necessary applications for you digitally. So if you're applying for public service loan forgiveness, we'll create all of your employment certification forms, and we'll take care of sending them to your employer to be signed and submitted. If you're enrolling in an income-driven plan, we'll create that application as well and send it to your servicer to change your payment. Believe it or not, the number one reason applications are denied is because they are filled out incorrectly. It's not because you didn't qualify, it's because there was an error on the form. By being a Savvy Essential member and submitting your forms with our Essential membership, we pre-fill them to ensure they have the best chances at being accepted. We actually have a 98% acceptance rate for forms submitted using Savvy's Essential membership. So we encourage you to enroll in that for free so that you can easily create all of your applications and get them submitted as soon as possible. After you've submitted them, you can track their statuses back on your dashboard. You can see exactly what step each of your forms is on, and if there's anything needed from you to get them to 100%. As you work through the application, if you have questions, we are always here to help. You can click Contact Support from any page of the Savvy website to be connected with resources. We have our Help Center, which includes articles on common student loan topics, frequently asked questions, and videos walking you through our website. After you've enrolled in that free Essential membership, you'll have access to our support team, where you can send us a message and we'll get back to you with one-on-one help to discuss your situation further. So if this all sounds great and you're ready to get started, we encourage you to ensure that you have access to your Savvy account. If any of you are new and do not yet have an account, you can create one by scanning this QR code and signing up right now. If you're unable to sign up on this webinar, don't stress. We'll send you an email after the session with instructions on activating your free account. Finally, we want to learn more about you. We are always looking for ways to better support borrowers and ensure that these sessions are fine-tuned and as helpful as possible for you. So we would really appreciate if you would take our quick survey, just letting us know more about your situation so that we can better support you. So I'll leave this up for a few seconds if any of you would like to scan it. I can also send the link in the chat if you're interested. We really do appreciate you taking the time to let us learn more about you. Alrighty, wrapping things up, I will leave you all with some next steps. If you don't already have your Savi account, be sure to create it. That way you can get started right away. Complete your application to see what you qualify for. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out for support. Remember, you won't be able to contact our support team until you've enrolled in that free Essential membership. So we encourage you to enroll in that membership absolutely free to unlock these features, including this one-on-one help. That's everything I've got for you today. Thanks so much for attending. I appreciate your time and I hope that you found this helpful. With